Hello everyone. My new update is coming out soon. GPUDog 1.3.1, I think it will be. And here there will be many different shaders, including a demonstration of how to work with glyphs, the standard matrix, ASCII, which I am still working on, typewriter, and right now I am making a headline. Actually, it allows you to do it right in the code. Here you can enter any text, English, Japanese, or Cyrillic. You can enter any text you want. The syntax here is as simple as possible, and then right here in sets, we look at the length of each line. I also added help. The text category, it should really be called typography. And here are examples of how to work with all of this. What kind of ASCII symbols, for example, because inside the fonts I have embedded these symbols. By the way, yes, here the fonts can also be pixelated, but for them you need to change the spacing because otherwise they overlap each other. It turns out looking bad. Still, it is better to keep some distance here. There is this font, there is Tiny, there is IBM Flex. Well, let us look at IBM Flex, and here, the first type of text, applications. That is, it is assumed that you can write here which programs you work in, and then I change, for example, the size, and we see how it all animates. So we have a scramble, the letters get mixed up from the edges, and this is all controlled via the scramble parameter. Also, there is a hue shift to change the gradients. And we have fade to color set by default, so this central part will be filled with the color we choose. We could, for example, pick a blue, turn on fade to color, and it will be blue here. But I think for this design, it would be good if it wasn't too bright, just a slightly bluish tint. And most importantly, we can also adjust the gradients here. We can turn the cycles down completely so it becomes one smooth gradient without those transitions. You can set it up like this or go for brighter, more neon colors. The further we move from 0 degrees, the more neon the colors become, and the less, well, the less they are. For example, the most neon color is at 180 degrees, but if I rotate it, it could even be green. Right now, in this case, it is green and purple. This is determined by the algorithm, but if we shift it slightly like this, we get slightly different colors. For example, let's say we want the gradients to have this fiery hue. This is also all very beautiful. Well, of course, here you can adjust the length, the period, but most importantly, you can layer them on top of each other and thus get different typographic animations. So I am changing it here. I duplicated it. It is essential that over is enabled here. Otherwise, it will draw over the layer. And since we have an adjustment layer here, it always draws over black. So I turned on over, and it will be convenient to turn over off here. For example, if we have the first layer, let's say we write the text 01 front. And here, if we turn off over and we have some specific layer, right now we just have, let's say, an adjustment layer. But for example, if I want to apply this to RGB, I can only use it as if it were on top of it. So you see, we still have the previous layer, but I am drawing this one over it. That can also be useful sometimes, but in this case, we definitely need to choose another one. Hold on a second, I will copy the effect and paste it back in here. There. And our second headline, it accordingly has different text. I am changing the first one. Well, okay, it does not matter now. I am changing it to hobbies, Japanese, and Cyrillic. For example, if I want the Japanese, I can adjust it a little differently, and it will all animate together like this. See? And accordingly, each element can be changed in a different way there. But most importantly, when you go into GPUppy, it will be in the official one, and here you click on the fork button, and this way it is copied to your custom GPUppy. And here you can edit, save, and do several iterations. I always prepare several iterations here. That is good practice. And this way you can animate text in a really cool way. If you have any other ideas, you can change the numbers here. All of this, of course, was created for you to change it all. Thank you for your attention.